Hey everybody, it's JANG here with a custom track geometry car, or track recording car, or track evaluation car, or track evaluation vehicle. These things are called all sorts of different things, but all of those searches will turn up things similar to this. This is based upon a series of vehicles from a company called Plasser. Originally Plasser American, and then Plasser Thur, it's called today, I believe. But it's really inspired by a very specific vehicle, a EM110C that was owned and operated by Bay Area Rapid Transit, also known as BART, in the San Francisco Bay Area in the 1980s. And I used to see it on a fairly regular basis where it was actually stored. And that just stuck with me, and for a time in the 80s I was into HO scale trains, and there was a company called Bachmann that made a scale model that I really wanted so badly, a HO scale model. This Lego creation here is my first time having anything like this in my life at all that's actually mine. And it's not based on a very specific vehicle, it's just inspired by a whole series. There's an EM50, there's an EM80, and a whole series of different EM80s, and EM100s, and EM110s, and EM120s. And they've changed their looks over time since the 80s. They look a little bit different nowadays, but it still does the same basic thing. These cars run over long rail lines, and they record the shape, the exact shape of the rails, how they've deformed, how their profile has changed from wear, how they've shifted from seismic activity and just the bedding material kind of wearing out and shifting and such. And they just record all that data so that the companies that maintain the rail lines will know what needs to be worked on and where they need to send crews to make repairs. This one has an auxiliary pair of wheels down there to have contact with the rail, and they've also got a couple of sensors or sensor arrays that are facing down. Had to make this able to slide side to side. The original design had the sliding part much better hidden and had a lot more greebling on it, but it required that I have one plate more underneath the axle, and that just didn't work going over switches. We'd get to the points and then would rub there. So I had to go with this slightly more obvious look, which I don't like as much, but it works, so that's a lot more important. This is a dual cab design, so at any given moment, at least one of the cabs will be unoccupied. There's the little server rack that has all the equipment that's ultimately recording all the data, and probably a lot of DSP sort of equipment in there to analyze a lot of stuff in real time. And then this guy is looking at some real-time data that's coming up right now, and I don't know where that sticker came from, what set it's from. Somebody will probably post up about it in the comments, and that'll be much appreciated. But I just got the tile with the used sticker randomly off Bricklink at some point as just an extra thing in one of many orders, that I've made over time, and I knew that I would be able to use that sticker at some point, so I got it, and it's perfect for this because that's exactly what the screens look like, or have looked like, on some of the programs that these folks use in this type of vehicle. That thing right there, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. I wanted to put something there where normally there would be a printer, but that doesn't look like a printer. So I don't know what it is, but it's just some piece of equipment that's taking up some space. This cabinet back here is intended to be where the diesel engine would be housed. I believe this would be just a single diesel engine unit here. Some of them had two, but I put just one in a cabinet on the side, which is, I believe, accurate to the way that some of these were designed, some of the smaller versions. And then there's your other cab at the other end. Up top, I've got some greebling, most of which is literally just greebling, and some of it actually makes a little bit of sense, such as the muffler for the diesel engine. And there are also 3 AC units up on top. And I've got a pantograph here for dual power, kind of imagining that this was, a European unit that would have diesel power by default, but would also be able to run on electric power in places where that's required. As a model for power, this just uses a regular old 9-volt motor that picks up power directly from the rails, just like most of my trains do by now, and ones that are still power functions and mostly converting over to 9 volt. It's just so much more convenient. I think this thing looks pretty nice going around the track at a slow speed. The extra pair of wheels, they work just fine. They roll just fine over all the obstacles. The thing goes over slight inclines and declines and such around the track just fine. Goes over the switches just fine. So it works the way that it needs to. Would be nice to add in some lights at some point. It definitely is compatible with lights because I've got the headlight pieces there that would allow me to just plug in some power functions lights, which I can just ultimately power from the rails also. I definitely feel like this thing could be improved in the future. So as is the norm for me with mocks, I'm not going to call this done. I'm just going to call it done for now. But I'm happy to have it. Probably while I'm not actually running it, which will be most of the time, I'll just substitute in an unpowered truck in place of the 9 volt motor, just so I can free up that valuable 9 volt motor to use on other mocks, because certainly I want to make many other powered locomotives and things that'll be used a lot more than this relatively specialized maintenance vehicle. But that's it for my look at this track evaluation vehicle, track evaluation car, track recording car, track geometry car, whatever you want to call it. Thanks for watching. I'll be talking to you again soon.